What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you guys taking your time to view this video, and this is one's going to be a little bit of a difference. So I'm getting ready to go on a trip to Hong Kong, and I'm bringing my Zcam with me because it's for work. So I thought I'd make this video. I did pick up a 4-pack of AirTags. I'm going to have an AirTag distributed between the case, the camera, and another bag. So I just wanted to share what I was actually doing and how I'm going to prep for that. With that being said, guys, let's just get right into it. And again, other people may do it way different. And for the purists, yes, I'm not using a Pelican case. I know that's industry standard. Now for the camera, I do have this small rig Arca Swiss style camera mount, which was not my first choice. The actual one I wanted would not arrive in time, so I opted to go with this instead, just due to the time, which I will eventually pick up the other one, and I'll leave a link in the description for that specific one. But if you could see here, this plate right here just comes out and the AirTag gets inserted in there. Picked up this Elevation Lab. It's like a tag vault, they call it. Basically just opens like that. AirTag goes in and you seal it up. They say it's waterproof. Not sure. I haven't tested that. Not going to. I'm gonna use this and epoxy this to the inside of the case. Now there are some writing here, which I'm gonna sand down and get rid of because I want it to look like it's a piece of the case and no one be able to read that there's actually an AirTag in it, which if Elevation Labs are watching this or you come across this video, it would be nice if you just made a plain one so no one would know what's actually or where the tag is located. I don't foresee this. This is a carry-on case. It's gonna be with me. And I've also done a test on these Harbor Freight cases in the past, which I'll put a link to that as well. I do need to update that video. Now that I have more, I could run way more tests. That's another video for another day. Today we'll continue with what I'm doing, which is AirTag in the case, camera, and all that good stuff. So as you can see in front of the camera, this is the case. This case is the, let's see here, the Apache 5800 rolling carry-on case. And this is what I'll be using. So this is a more basic case. It does come with this. It does come with this pluck and pick foam insert. Has 2 of them, but right now it's just the base one. So I might just probably glue the tag right where it sits right now. Or I was thinking of just somewhere along the bottom here. There won't be that much stuff on this side, so I think gluing it there would be a perfect spot to have it. And then I could just put the foam right back over it like that. And it doesn't stick up too much where it's gonna mess with the foam too bad. So I think that's a really good case. I was thinking about the lid, but if they break the lid and throw the lid out, it does have this 3M. It does have this 3M. I just don't know. I don't know how strong that's gonna be. So I'd rather just epoxy it. And again, I have no plans on taking this off. So epoxying is fine. That it does have this sticky thing. Actually, you know what? Let's go with it and use that. Why not? Let's see how strong that is. It seems to be sticking pretty well. I have my AirTag here. I already set up the AirTag and labeled it using my iPhone. There's that. Alright guys, so the AirTag vault holder is stuck in, as you can see it here in the corner. Now I did try to sand down the writing and fill it with some like putty, but it really didn't work that well, so I just opted just to skip it. This was going to be a carry-on, so it would have been in my possession most of the times. Mainly the safety was mostly for just like, you know, leaving in the hotel room and stuff like that. The bolt seems to be holding pretty well. As you can see, the AirTags in it. Now, if you're not sure how these work, the AirTags do have batteries, which I believe they last like around a year or so. They last pretty long, and I in case it does get open and no one's not familiar with AirTag, I flipped it over so the white side is showing, not the Apple logo. So now that the AirTag is installed, I'm going to roughly place the items that are going in the case and do a flat lay so I can position them in a way where I'm utilizing the most space in the case. First things up, I'm going to start with the Zcam itself, and I had the orientation a few different ways, but I found that the way it is now fit the best without interfering with too many things. Keep in mind the pluck and pick foam, there is a border on the outside, and so you can't pluck all the way to the end. So that is something just to keep in mind when you are, setting up your case. So right here you could see there was a few options that I tried when it came to the placement of the Zcam and the Ninja, but I didn't like it that way, so I went back to the original orientation. So now that everything was fitted in the way I wanted it, I'm gonna go ahead and start actually cutting the foam itself. And again, these cases come with 3 layers of foam. There's a base layer, which you saw when I installed the AirTag. There's the middle layer, and then there's a top layer. So I utilize all 3 layers to hide the gear in, or not hide, but place the gear inside. So the way I found it to be best was I grabbed a black permanent marker and I kind of just traced the objects, the camera body, the lenses and stuff like that, and I used a knife to essentially cut the pluck and pick foam, just so I have a little bit more control of what I'm pulling out. Now I did find later on that a razor blade works best, and that's what I use for the lenses, but for the body I just again did a rough outline and then just used a regular old kitchen knife. As you can see, for the Zcam body, I did cut out the top and middle layer, just so it sat in a little bit deeper, and everything else, was basically just that layer was cut and everything was left underneath. So I continue to trace all the objects right where they would be placed, doing each object one by one. So side note with the lenses, I cut the biggest diameter, which is the front of the lens, because the top layer would be right where the lenses sit, the front of the lenses sit, and then underneath would be where the rear cap sits. So I didn't cut the bottom too much, but I did cut the top. And for this process, I use a just a regular old razor blade. I found that that worked a lot better than using the knife. As you can see, this middle layer, I did not go too deep. It was just enough for the lenses to settle in on the top of the flick. The goal was to have the camera, monitor, lenses, rods, and a few other accessories in it. So as you can see, I placed the Ninja right next to it, the 4 cinema lenses, and I thought it worked pretty well in this configuration. I was able to actually fit the top handle, rods, HDMI cable, and the Highland Mars 400S Pro. So it is a pretty good self-contained case when it comes to holding all the stuff in for the Zcam. May switch up the configuration a little bit later down the line, but for right now, this works. So the body, lenses, Ninja, and my follow focus have been put into the case, as well as the rails and the top handle. Now I'm just gonna go in and set up the Highland Mars 400S. So that was me putting together the case that you guys just saw. Now, the only thing I don't have in the case currently is the NPF batteries, which those will just go in my backpack. I wanted to keep it all together, but I think it's just going to be way too much, and I don't want to overstuff the case that's there. So I'm going to move on into doing the secondary camera AirTag, which again, I got this small rig Arca Swiss style base plate. Not the one I wanted. that'll be in the description. I'll show you that one. I think that one would have been a better option, but it just would not have arrived on time, and I just didn't order it earlier. But this one is pretty interesting because it comes with the tools, and it's more of like a hex style tool. So I'm just gonna open that up and put the AirTag in.